This episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast is brought to you by MK Blades, the choice of champions. For nearly a century, MK has crafted world-class figure skating blades trusted by Olympians and beginners alike. Whether you're perfecting your first jumps or chasing gold, MK gives you the edge you need. Visit mkblades.com and find your perfect pair. Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast. This is part 2 of our 2-part episode for the U.S. Figure Skating Championships recap. If you didn't get a chance to listen to part 1, we talked about the incredible women's event and the, I don't know what you call the pairs event that happened at Nationals. There was a lot to discuss, but there's also a lot to discuss here. In this second part, we're going to talk about the dance event and the roller coaster and emotional men's event that happened in St. Louis.
Watching you like wheel and deal in the stands with all the fans coming down trying to buy pins. You've got like 3 screens open. You've got like Canadians, the scoring, the national scoring, your box of tendies, and then you're running back and forth to sell people pins in the stands. It was funny.
The pins were going, they were like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And the skaters were loving the protocol pins. So
oh, yay. Yes. Before we get into dance, Maddie Hubbell proudly wearing her stationary lift base pin. It was incredible.
Yeah, that pin was obviously inspired by Maddie Hubbell and her reaction to her stationary lift space at 4 Continents a number of years ago. And
2019.
And I had been debating whether or not to give it to her. And I went up to her very like shyly and was like, so I have this pin, Maddie Hubbell. Would you be offended or would you love it if I gave this to you? And immediately, like right away, she was like, I'd love it.
Aww.
So
yeah, she said later she brought it up that Christine and Anthony don't have a stationary lift in either program, so she wasn't jinxing them by taking it. She had no conflicts. She can just enjoy the bee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there were a number of skaters / coaches who was like, I will get this pin later when I don't feel like I'm jinxing anybody. But speaking of dance, we know that the pattern step sequence level 4 has been very elusive this season.
Oh.
And
but someone has gotten it.
Yes. So Pate and Bai got it at Lombardia Trophy.
Yeah.
And so I gave them the pattern step 4 pins like right during practice. And as soon as Emilia Zingis and Vadim Kolesnik came off the ice after the rhythm dance and they got a level 4. They were the only ones to get the level 4. I was like scrambling to find it and I just like literally gave it to them right as they were walking past me. Emilia did not take that pin off for days. She was so proud. She was so proud of that pattern step 4.
She's probably still wearing it in Michigan right now.
Goes where she goes.
I mean, PST4 is hard to get, even the season that isn't weird like this one. So
it's always been hard to get.
Good for them. Yeah.
And by the way, it is hard to get because you have to basically do every single turn correctly. And both partners have to do it correctly. They used to split the PSTs into both partners. But now they've combined it, and so both partners have to do it correctly in order for them to get those levels. So it's a thing.
So speaking of pins, I had this on my list as well. Ina Bauer 26 from Twitter is giving out pins. I got one that has Christina and Anthony that says CPOM World Domination Agenda. And she also gave me this one that says Reform the Ice Dance Technical Committee. And it has a picture of Sean Redstead in jail. So I didn't put this one on, but I was wearing the CPOM World Domination Agenda pin proudly.
Sean
all over
Redstead,
St.
I
Louis.
hope you're not listening to this podcast. Um, he was at Nationals. I saw him.
Yeah, I saw him in the dog area. He was
Yeah.
petting Jupiter.
So yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about dance.
Yes.
What a deep field of
That was
ice
an
dance.
insane event. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much talent.
So much.
Everyone was so well prepared. Well, almost everyone competed so well. Great event to watch. Great practices to watch. I was so happy. I was a happy girl at those practices.
I'm gonna say this, and this is an observation. I observed that when Amy Toy and Jonathan Rogers skated, that I got a number of text messages and replies that were very thirsty.
Well, they're both very nice looking.
They I'm like, can you also appreciate the fact that they are very good ice dancers?
Yeah. And they did well. They did really well this year.
They did. They're top 10.
Yeah.
They continue to improve. I liked them last year when I saw them, and I remember being like, I was not expecting this from them. And they went over 170 here. They were close to the Shibs. They were close to Neset Markelov. Obviously, the Shibs had mistakes. They beat Peyton Bai, who had a huge mistake in the free dance. It was very unfortunate. That twizzle sequence where their blades
It was him.
clashed. Was it him?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Maybe he got too close. And they clipped the blades, and he just went flying. It was a little scary of a fall.
I mean, that was like a 10-point mistake.
Oh yeah,
brutal. From a team that should have been, close to the top 5.
Yep. I mean, they would have been 8th had they done it all correctly, if not higher. So yeah, it was unfortunate, and I really like that free dance for them, the Lion King. So
yeah.
If we talk about the Shibs, speaking of returns to competitions that didn't quite work out.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've made this perspective clear, but I'm very annoyed at whoever told the Shibutanis that their first rhythm dance this season was not good.
Same.
Wasn't on theme. That program was fun, and it was very on theme, and excuse them for being creative and getting into the theme and making a good program with it. It was interesting.
And frankly, it being like a very personality-driven program too.
Yes, which really was good for them. The Canned Heat rhythm dance they had, I thought, was built really nicely, but you could tell they had very few reps with it. It was just slow and, just not that comfortable on them. And they were dumped pretty early right out the gate with a 71. And I was looking at all the teams that had left to skate and how when the last time was any of them scored that low, and not recently. I mean, it was pretty clear that they were going to be down there, and they were 10th after the rhythm dance, which is just...
I mean, what was very telling was that they got the levels.
Yeah. His midline went up to a 4.
No, the midlines ended up being 3s.
3s?
They had 2 3s on the midline. They had a pattern step 3. But the grades of execution were so mediocre across the board for all of them. I mean, the rotational lift that they did was a rotational lift that they did 8 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, he got a 4 in the free dance. But yeah, their lifts are very vintage.
Yeah. And to your point about it being just not having enough reps, one did not have enough reps, and 2, because it didn't have enough reps, and they probably just didn't have that much time to choreograph that thing. It felt very generic, and it felt very safe.
Yeah.
Whereas their original rhythm dance felt very fresh and different, and also them.
Yes.
Um,
Totally.
and they, they were maybe hoping that the safe route would get them better scores, and it
Hmm.
didn't.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
In the free dance, they made some changes um, across that free dance, and then the fact that the element that they were known for was the
Yeah.
thing that
Their
that
signature element.
completely messed up. Yep. The
Yeah.
twizzles were just completely off.
Hmm.
Um, he lost his center early in the
Hmm.
first, was it first twizzle or
I think
second
the
twizzle?
second one.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was the
And
forward
then
outside ones that he does not like.
he got into her
Um,
pattern, and then she couldn't
yeah,
do her third.
she
And so
couldn't
they
do her
both got a
third.
level one.
Yeah.
Um, and it took away, that was the crescendo of the music, when they put their arms up.
Yeah.
And it just really kind of sucked the life out of the program there. And, they were crushed afterward, understandably, but yeah.
They lost like 7 points
Yeah.
on that.
But yeah. Hmm.
Uh, so that was tough to watch, and
Hmm.
I think I heard them talk after the program, after the
Hmm.
free dance, and they were saying they don't know what they're gonna do next.
Yeah.
Like, are they gonna stick around and give it another shot? They don't know. Are they gonna retire? They don't know.
Hmm.
But it's just, it was maybe too little, too late. But
Yeah.
but it was also that you can really see, frankly, how much the rest of the U.S. dance field has improved relatively over the last 8 years.
Hmm.
And even 8 years ago, we were all saying like, "Oh my God, the U.S. dance field is so deep." Like, it's gotten deeper since
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
and the skating skills were very comparable. Um, they still have very good partnering. They still have very good, uh, edges, turns, all that sort of stuff. But
Hmm.
you watch them skate versus everybody else, and
Hmm.
it feels safe. It feels like
Yeah.
they're not as assertive as everybody else is.
Hmm.
And had
The speed and
I,
the power isn't there.
yeah, it that hadn't come back yet.
Yeah.
Um, and even when they were at their peak, it wasn't power for they weren't
Hmm.
power skaters, right? Like,
Yeah.
you put them next to Hubble and Donahue, and you see the difference between the power between those two teams. But the thing that they always had was consistency and precision,
Yeah.
and that just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I missed part of Nessa and Markelov's free dance because the Shibutanis were staying in the Kiss and Cry for quite a long time, and it's like I kind of kept looking over there, and Alex was really upset.
Yeah,
And the coaches were trying to comfort him, and they spent a long time over there, and then I know they stayed in the hallway for a while before they went to the mix zone, and I think
yeah,
you know, emotionally for them, it was probably really challenging to have. They probably were like fighting through it with their like competitive mindset, and then when it was over, it was just a big letdown, and the reality of it is, I guess, kind of shocking when you expect that you're going to do a lot better than that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think they expected more of themselves, and I also
Mhm.
think that they knew they weren't up to par
Mhm.
with what they would have liked to have been
Mhm.
in terms of
Mhm.
where they were
Mhm.
with their basic skating and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And maybe there was a surprise that the field is so deep. I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm not sure. Let's talk about the other stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bratty and Somerville's
Oh my
Vogue.
gosh, they were so good. Their rhythm dance. I read a quote with Ian where he was saying in the mix zone that they got a lot of bad feedback about it and told them to change it.
Mm,
And they really didn't want to because the program was so special to them. And they really like pushed through. They worked with Gravity Jacobs. Am I saying that name correctly? Gravity something. Jacobs, I think. And a dancer, and they did
A Vogist.
yes, a lot of off-ice work. Adam knows them and, is familiar with their work, and that program was so good. I mean, that was just exceptional the way they competed it. Gabby said it was perfect. They did everything right.
Gravity
Gravity J
Jacobs.
Yeah, okay.
The pronouns he, him, or they, them.
Mhm.
So he is an active an active ballroom participant with 6 to 7 years of experience of trying to create online resources for Vogue that
Cool.
he wishes that existed when they were just starting out.
Yeah, cool.
So online resources for voguing.
Mm,
But yeah, I mean, you could tell they put in
mhm.
they put in the work. He said
Yeah,
60% of that program changed.
yeah, yeah.
And they skated so well. It was cool. Um, they I think they took out the like the little breakdance move in the
Mhm,
middle of their midline, which I kind of missed, but I didn't miss because
mhm.
it actually felt I actually felt like it interrupted the flow of that step sequence a little too much. Whereas when um, Una and Gage do their headstands, it
Mhm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It takes a little bit longer for
Mhm,
Emily and Ian to get into that breakdance move.
mhm,
But anyway, it was great. I think they were very proud of the strides they had made
mhm.
in both programs, and the fact that they ended up fifth
Yeah.
here was a good result for them, especially after the season that they've had.
Mhm. Yeah.
I thought Green and Parsons had a great rhythm dance too.
So good. Both of their programs were great. They were just so on it, and their material's so fresh. It just always feels innovative and, different, and,
They're cool.
respect them. Yeah, being
They're so
cool and
cool.
being brave enough to be cool and
Yeah,
doing something that's, like, a little weird, a little unusual, and, God, their edge quality is so good, and I feel like they were a little bit underscored at this competition.
me
I think they were
too.
just you know,
Me
and
too.
it really those 2 teams, it really sucks because they were the 1st and 2nd alternates in Beijing, and they are the 1st and 2nd alternates again, and,
Well,
ugh,
and Michael Parsons, a three-time Olympic alternate now.
yeah, brutal.
Um, it I gotta say that they're as much as I love Caroline and Michael's free dance, the free dance was work for them.
Mhm. Yeah.
He held on to a lot of things, and it was very subtle, but there were a couple lifts that had he not been, had he not really fought for them, they could have come down or they could have
Mhm.
messed up. And their one foots were as very good and assertive as those one foots were. They
Mhm.
were not as strong as the others,
Mhm.
um, especially on the counter and the bracket that I saw. So yeah, it's tough to again be in that position for
Mhm.
them here. So uh, there's a comment in the chat about sending Una Brown and Gage Brown to Four Continents over Brady Somerville.
Yeah,
That
that I
has
thought that was
e-
unusual.
I thought that had everything to do with the season and how
Mm.
the Browns had a better season than Brady Somerville, and not by a little, but by a fairly large margin. And so I think they took that into account, and the fact that they were first and second, or no,
Mhm.
they were fifth and sixth, right next to each
Mhm.
other, by less than 3 points. I think
Mhm.
that's where it went.
Mm. Hmm. I'm
Um,
still a little salty about that, though.
yeah, yeah. But I think the Browns, they have great programs too.
Mhm. They were
It
free dance was awesome.
Yeah, free dance was great. They often get credit at national championships more than they
Mhm.
do at at international events, and I think it's great that they're getting that kind of credit here.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
But it's, a little bit of Sophie's choice with those two teams sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, again, bearing the lead, the Olympic team will be Chachin Bates, Zhingus Kolesnik, Carrera Ponomarenko. And I saw Christina Carrera after she got on the team, and I was like, are you satisfied now that you've gotten the Olympic team and you're a U.S. citizen? She's like, I'm not gonna lie. There were a few months there where I was like, am I doing this for the right reason?
Yeah. Yeah.
So she was very happy, and I think the combination of Emilius Zhingus and Vadim Kolesnik and Christina Carrera, Anthony Ponomarenko going to the Olympics, they were, both of those teams were ecstatic. Zhingus Kolesnik probably were on the back foot starting with this season, and they made such a push to the point where they are now being pushed as the number 2 team for the U.S.
Well, I think it was really interesting how Vadim had surgery in the spring to address some issues. He had like a hernia issue. He had hip issue. I think he just had injections for his hip. But addressing those issues allowed him to train longer every day. I think they were doing like 2 to 3 hours, and they went from that to 4 to 5 hours and doing all these extra run-throughs. And it, really elevated their level. I mean, hopefully that's sustainable and it's not hard on his body, but it's like been great this season in terms of lifting them up.
The thing I appreciate about them is they are, maybe of all the teams, they are always going for their elements very assertively.
Yeah.
It's different, but a little bit similar to kind of what Hubble Donahue used to be like, where they were sort of always sort of on the edge, and there was like that excitement about them being on the edge of disaster.
So far, no significant disasters, though.
Right.
Knock on wood, but Hubble Donahue had a few of those.
Yeah, but just like, random calls that they got.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing that I have appreciated about their improvements this season. So that is a thing. Carrera Ponomarenko, what were your thoughts on the Labouche changes?
Labouche. Oh, I loved it so much. Okay, that practice day, the warm-up before the rhythm dance, when we had both them and Neset Markelov with the Labouche, I had chills all over my body. Anthony and Christina's rhythm dance, oh my God. So they changed the elements around. They started with a lift at the beginning, and they did that lift.
It was so much better. So much
very
better
similar to Vertu and Moyer's Moulin Rouge opening lift. And yes, the placement of the elements, phenomenal. The new costumes, these costumes were like so hot. They were gorgeous. Just really early 90s, like dark glam. They're phenomenal with chains, with like mesh. I loved it. And that program was just so good. They skated it so well. So well. I was so happy for them. And I was happy for me because I was in heaven. And I can't judge
I was
objectively.
also happy for you.
Yes. I felt like watching them go back to back with Zhingus Kolesnik. I felt like the Zhingus Kolesnik had much stronger edge quality, particularly in the midline. I still felt like Carrera Ponomarenko had a few things that they like needed to do, but it was pretty clear on practice that they were going to be the number 3 team, and I think that was right. And I was so happy to see the perfume free dance back. I mean, that choreo step is the best choreo step in ice dance this season, period. Like, I love that it's on the vertical axis. I love the way they use it to tell a story. Their expression, their presentation, so good. And all around, was so happy for them and happy for Anthony's parents, who I am a big fan of. And we're not there because they're extremely superstitious and don't come to
Yes,
nationals.
they
So,
are very much so.
yeah.
So I was telling Anthony this
hmm
after all the skating was over.
hmm
I've actually known Anthony Ponomarenko since he was a
hmm
kid
Yeah. Because of
because,
his parents.
well, no, because I trained in San Jose.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so I knew Paulina when she was like
hmm
4 years old. I knew
Yeah.
Anthony when he was a
2.
kid, however young he
Yeah.
was. But I remember them saying like, oh, uh, Klimova and Ponomarenko have this son who is
hmm
also a figure skater. I was like, okay,
hmm
interesting. So it's a small world,
Yeah.
and
I
also
loved.
also I'm
Go
old.
ahead. Well, I loved in the I mean, I'm old too. I loved in the gala how they had people's parents put their Olympic jackets on, but for him, they had Paulina Edmonds there putting his
hmm
jacket on because his parents were there. And
Yeah.
I thought that was really special because I know they've been lifelong friends. And I remember vividly at 2014 Nationals in Boston when Paulina was 15 and she was making the Olympic team and going to all of her press conferences and the mix zone and whatever, walking around. 13-year-old Anthony was glued to her side. He was with her for all of it. And I noticed that because, of who his parents are. I was like, oh, yeah, I definitely watched him compete in the dance event too, junior dance probably at that time. But
Yeah.
it was just so full circle. And here we are 3 Olympic cycles later, and he's finally the one making an Olympic team.
Right.
It was so nice they had Paulina there. You know,
Yeah.
I felt
For
like he was
sure.
such a part of her Olympic nationals experience. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was sweet.
But you could tell Curry and Pomerenko have put in a lot of work
So
since
much.
all of the like fall
Yeah.
craziness with their levels and with
Yeah.
their grades of execution and with
Mhm.
their rhythm dance, especially that lift, never really worked.
Mhm.
And now that
Yeah.
they've changed around, it works a lot better.
Yeah.
Could they be sassier and sexier with LaBouche? They could. They got another few weeks for it.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Um, Zinkas Kolesnik's rhythm dance is still one of my favorites of the season.
I mean,
I think
this is
it's
hot take,
so
but I feel
different.
like they should have won the segment. They were freaking great.
I don't disagree with you.
I
The difference in skating energy intensity for Chalk and Bates
Mhm.
between the rhythm dance and the free dance is
Mhm.
so vast.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Um
think it has a lot to do with the Lenny Kravitz music,
yeah.
where it's a little bit s-
Mhm.
flat in
Mhm.
some ways.
It's very
There's never
radio friendly.
there's never a point where you feel like it's like exciting and boppy, because it's
Mhm.
not. Lenny Kravitz is not exciting and boppy. Lenny
Yeah.
Kravitz is like some kind of alternative rock slash friendly adult contemporary, right?
Mhm.
And so um I don't know what it is about that rhythm dance.
Mhm.
They don't skate it out like they would otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't work as well. And their free dance here was so good.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
they skated that free dance incredibly well.
Yeah.
Um, Now I was also multitasking during that time, so I don't know if there were like weird random nuance things that happened
Yeah.
during that free dance that I didn't catch, but
Mhm.
you know, yeah.
Yeah.
It I don't disagree with you. The Zingos Kolesnik was really good in that
Mhm.
rhythm
Yeah, I
dance,
felt like an
and they
86 for
and
that was a little conservative if Chalk
yeah,
Bates are getting
right,
91.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the levels that they were getting too. I
Mhm.
mean, PSD4, and they got
Mhm.
a 3 and a 4 in the midline.
Yeah.
It was almost straight fours for them.
Mhm.
But neither here nor there. This panel had to make sure that they do the thing
Mhm.
with Chalk and Bates, because everybody else is doing the thing with
Yeah.
their gold medal favorites, and you can't miss out.
Yeah.
So
I have one more dance shout out before
what's
we move on. So, I mean, obviously,
you're going
you
to talk
know.
about Wolf Kostin and Zarevsky, aren't you? With
Oh
their
no, I
Kill Bill.
loved them, and I thought they were very musical, and I want to talk about them. No, no, no. I need to talk about Bella Flores and Linus Kolmer Jepsen, who are training in Lyon. I called them over to the Mix Zone. I talked to them for a long time about that rink, not only because I'm a very big fangirl of the Olivier Schoenfelder, Muriel Boucher Zazouille School of Ice Dance, but I was very impressed by and intrigued by their programs. Their choreography felt very fresh and different compared to a lot of the teams at nationals. And I just think it's such an interesting choice to be training in France and skating for the U.S. And they talked about how the U.S. Federation kind of offered them the most support, the most opportunity. And that's why they chose it, even though for citizenship, it's going to be probably insurmountable.
Exactly.
Who knows? But loved their programs. I thought they were so creative, and it felt cool to see something different. And it really made me realize like how similar a lot of the programs we are seeing in terms of like, because they're all kind of choreographed by like one or two groups like of people. So that was a highlight for me. I loved them, and I was a big fan.
But I think part of it is that's also why like Zingis Kolesnik's program stands out.
Totally.
And also why Green and Parsons' program stands out, right?
Yeah. Not Montreal.
Yeah. There's something to that.
On our NBC show, Gabby was talking about how she really felt the teams that train with Tanith and Greg in Canton have such impressive musicality. Like all of them have these programs that are choreographed so well to the music. And I think a lot of that comes from Jean-Luc Baker, too, who works with those teams. Yeah.
And Jean-Luc's an interesting one because he works with like a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Both in Montreal and in Michigan.
Yeah.
So he's got multiple allegiances. Hi, Jean-Luc, if you're listening.
Hi, Jean-Luc.
Okay, so that's dance for you. The Chuck Bates, Zingis Kolesnik, Carrera Ponomarenko going to the Olympics, also assigned at this point, and I say assigned to Worlds because
I have no doubt that Chuck and Bates will be at Worlds.
Oh,
They
really?
can win gold in the team event, gold in the individual event. They love to skate. They love to compete. I don't think they can say no.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like they're gonna be like Olympics and we're done. I don't know. One of those, I guess we'll see. But the four continents assignments will be Green and Parsons, Brown and Brown, and Zingis Kolesnik.
who are making a push for that last warm-up group in Milan.
So somebody was tweeting to me that that's not possible because fifth place or fifth on the world standings, they were saying was Piper and Paul, and they're so far ahead that it won't be possible. I have not corroborated that. But there's also that. So if it's not that, it is also the fact that they are 8th right now in the world standings, and there are a bunch of European teams who are going to Europeans, and so it is either that they're making a push for the top 5, which may or may not be right, or they are trying to defend their spot in the second to last group. And that's the potential thing that they're trying to do. So we'll see.
Or maybe they just want one more rep in a championship event before the Olympics.
It is all possible. Yeah, so Piper and Paul have 37.98 right now, and they are in 5th. Carrera Ponomarenko are in 6th in world standings, 35.30. So if you're thinking about world standings, and getting the championship standings in there, I guess Carrera Ponomarenko could get up there.
And Zingis is probably going to win 4 continents, right? I mean, there's not really anyone that can challenge them there.
Well, the Canadians aren't going, so I don't think there's any other potential there.
Maybe they're going for the money. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
this was very much a decision that was made by the committee to be like,
Mhm.
this is strategic for some reason,
Yeah.
because they are
Yeah.
literally the only Olympic team members who are
Mhm.
going to four continents.
Mhm.
So there's a reason for that.
I wonder if that also means that Maddie and Evan are doing both segments in the team event.
That that could very
Mhm.
well be a signal for that.
Mhm.
And I was saying this in my fan meetup and
Mhm.
also last night in my
Yeah, how
recap.
was the meetup?
The meetup was fun. It was good.
Aw.
Uh,
I'm sad I
it
missed it.
was
I was wildly throwing my
sleeping.
shit into my suitcase to get out of there before our 10:30 production meeting.
No, it was fun. It was a good time. It basically became a fan Q&A because I was completely unstructured in what I was
Oh,
doing. So
fun.
it was fun. It
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah.
Um, but those are your three teams.
Mhm.
And oh yeah, the team event. The thing I was saying about the team event yesterday was that on paper,
Mhm.
in order for the US to maximize points and do the things that they need to do, the best team is likely that they don't split pairs, they don't split dance, and they don't split men, and they split women.
Mm. Yeah. And this is like, I know they like to like let people make decisions and whatever, but it's going to be tight between the US and Japan. I mean, they need to be
Absolutely.
strategic. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, need to crunch numbers. But
Mhm.
there was a whole rumor yesterday, and I actually don't think it was a rumor. I think the US Figure Skating might have actually
Mhm.
said it,
Mhm.
that they were going to announce the team event today. And I was like, in what world is that a good idea?
Yeah, no,
Like,
seriously.
you
Although
don't, you,
I do know last Olympics they decided who was doing the team event while we were still at nationals.
yes, it's very possible that they have decided
Mm.
already.
Mhm.
But to show your cards this early is not a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Agree.
and I remember the last couple of Olympics, you didn't hear about who was going to the team
Mm-mm.
event until the very last minute for
Yeah.
basically every single country.
And then we found out who was doing the free skate based on who showed up on the
Yeah,
entry list. I
yeah,
mean, it was yeah.
yeah,
A little mystery goes a long way.
right.
I
So
was very stressed out in 2018 because I didn't know that China was using basically their B team in the team event. And I thought that if they had used Boyang Jin and Swain Han, and it was going to be pretty close with the US. But in the end, they did not use them, and it was fine. The US
right.
got a medal. Uh, anyway.
Yeah, the dynamics will be very interesting, and I think the team event will be very competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, oh, why are we closing out with men? We're closing close out with men.
That's how the event ended.
It is how
And
the event
honestly,
ended.
my favorite moment of the event after La Bouche was in the men's event. And this was like an honest level of being impressed. I mean, with La Bouche, I feel like psychologically, I'm so, obsessed with that music. It does something to me physically where I can't help but enjoy myself. But this was like, I was truly impressed with this.
See,
Yeah.
your La Bouche is my "It's Raining Men" by Jimmy
Oh my
Ma.
God.
I literally ran out of the press conference for
Yeah.
the free dance because I could not watch Jimmy Ma do
Yeah.
uh
It's
Can't Take
Raining
My
Men.
Eyes Off You, It's
Yeah.
Raining Men,
And the
Macho
whole
Man, and
arena doing
YMCA.
YMCA. Yeah.
There was no way in the world that I was going to
Yeah.
prioritize typing out and transcribing the free dance press conference
Yeah.
for Jimmy Ma. And
Yeah.
so, and I had no regrets because
No.
that was such a fun program.
I mean, I'm
And
surprised the dancers didn't leave too. Like, that was unmissable. We will now take a 15-minute intermission
yeah,
so we can watch Jimmy Ma.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was rude of US Figure
Mhm.
Skating to schedule the
Truly.
free dance press conference during Jimmy
Right?
Ma.
There's a big overlap between people interested in both of those things.
So, I mean, Jimmy was so into that program that he gassed himself so much for the last
Yeah.
jumps. But
Yeah.
you know what? I would much rather have him overperform the program than just land his jumps and not, because that program
Yeah.
is so fun.
Yeah.
And he 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 changed his program so that he could have this moment at nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much a swan song kind of program for
Mm-hmm.
him. And you could see the emotions at the end. And I was like, this is too early for me to be crying in the men's free skate
To the village people.
to the village people.
Yeah.
But I got emotional after Jimmy Moss skated because he was very emotional.
Yeah.
And the crowd was just so good to him.
What are we gonna do without him?
We just need, like, can he just come back and do that program
know.
over and over again?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. He was talking in the mix zone about how I talked to him before, like earlier in the week, about how emotionally fatiguing it is to train that program for him because he's such an introvert. And it's
Yeah.
like he really feels like he has to perform it when he practices it, and it's just a lot. And it's really interesting that Jimmy is so good at being such a showman, but it takes so much out of him.
Yeah.
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 Secret power.
I know how that works. I'm an introvert too.
Oh, yeah,
And-
me too.
and-
You don't see me doing YMCA. I'm in my house with my dog on my couch with the doors locked. That's how it should be.
Like, literally every single day I am in the arena and I have to turn it on for this, that, or the other. I go back to the hotel and I'm just like dead to the world because
Crawl in bed with a tendy.
as much as I love it, it also drains me so much, drains the energy so much.
Yeah.
But it's the perils of being a fake extrovert.
Yeah. I mean, you're like recognizable and people know who you are. I feel like no one knows who I am and they're only paying attention to the people I'm working for. So I'm pretty undercover.
Yeah.
You're like out there.
Wait till we start getting you on video for these podcasts.
No, I can't do it. No.
I know podcast listeners that there's a lot of requests for Michelle to show her face on camera for once.
Gosh.
We're gonna make it happen.
Let's see.
Gonna make it happen.
Maybe we should put it behind a paywall.
This is rocker skating. There are no paywalls.
No paywalls.
No paywalls. They're only pins.
Jimmy Ma may have been your experience of the night.
So what was yours?
I mean, obviously Torgashev's free skate. Life affirming. That man has been through a weird season, a lot of personal drama, all kinds of stuff. Who knows what's going on? Falls in the short program. It was like he was at the very end and like something came out like inside of him. It was like that. It's like that spirit we saw. I'll never forget his short program at 2022 Nationals. That was the most incredible, powerful Russian thing. And then we didn't see him again for a while because he got injured. But like that was it. It was like he had to do it. And he was determined to land those jumps. That free skate for me was better than anything I saw in the women's event combined. That was like 10 out of 10. I was alive. I was living. The step sequence, the flight in that step sequence. I don't want to get too like Russophile in here, but that was like Russian excellence. That was beautiful.
Of all of them, he was the one who really skated to win.
Mm-hmm. That was Yagudin-esque.
I mean, Ilya won, obviously, but he skated to get it done.
Yeah. I think he was in a little bit of pain. He never was completely clear with us about what exactly it was. I think it was all the boots. He had a really rough warm-up earlier in the day.
And the rough,
and was not doing all of his
rough
content.
Practice, rough everything. It was so weird.
This is a big issue for me, okay? These components in the free skate, how on earth did Ilya... I'm pointing aggressively at my computer right now. How on earth did Ilya score almost 6 points more in components than Andrew? No. 7 than Andrew. Yeah. That's not right. That's unacceptable. And you agree with me.
I do.
Yeah.
I mean, so the part of this is also that by the time Ilya was skating, the energy in the building was so weird.
Yeah, it was so weird.
It was so incredibly weird because
Yeah.
at that point, Jason had imploded.
Oh.
Tomoki had not imploded, but people were expecting him to have been
Yeah.
in
I was.
second going into,
Yeah.
or leading going into, or sorry, in second at that point because Andrew Torgashev had skated so
I
well.
expected him to be in first or second when
Yeah.
Ilya took the ice,
Yeah.
and he wasn't.
And he was fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And so the energy was so outrageously weird that I could barely pay attention to what Ilya was doing out there, except for the fact that I was like, oh, these are the jumps.
And
So
they're not quads.
I couldn't really understand how he was doing in terms of the actual program because all I was focusing on was just like the jumps and my brain was like malfunctioning the whole time.
It wasn't what Andrew did.
Mm.
It was not. Oh, that free skate was so freaking good. It's like Torgashev kills me because when he is on, he's
so good. He really is.
I mean, he's one of the best. He's extraordinary. But then his, he can go do so much worse than that too.
Yeah.
It's the span he has between what he can do and what he often does is so large. But I was so happy for him.
I mean, he goes from 8th place at Worlds to 22nd, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that happens with him.
He goes from that NHK free skate this season to this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's extraordinary.
There is something about these American men who love to peak at nationals and then not do anything anywhere else. And the one who doesn't do that tends to be Jason Brown.
Oh my God, Jason.
I just
Jason had a good warm up too.
He had an incredibly good warm up.
Yeah.
The very last jump that he did in the 6-minute warm up was the best triple axel that I have seen from him all week. And I looked at it and I was like, good. We're back.
Fine. Yeah.
We're back.
And then
we weren't back.
And he did a 0A. Trademark rocker skating.
God.
There's nothing worse than a waltz jump. It's just like, oh no.
You could tell that he knew when he went into that program that he needed to be perfect or near perfect.
Yeah.
And the second he took off on that triple axel, I have never seen him that crooked on a triple axel in years.
He's usually straight up and down.
It's straight up and down. Yeah. He might under rotate it, he might whatever, but his jump technique is very, very consistently straight up and down always.
Yeah.
He does not lean on jumps. And the fact that he like slipped off his blade on his takeoff and was leaning forward, it could have been a complete fluke of kind of a thing, or it could be his brain playing games on him.
Yeah.
But that music does not help.
No, the music. Oh no. Speaking of people to have conversations with in the future about what happened, I'm really interested to hear his take on it when he's less emotional about it. But I feel like it was maybe, I don't know, a buildup of doubt. And then when he went out there, it just hit him. I don't know. And then all the double jumps.
I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right about the doubt thing because I do think he has been doubting himself this season, period.
And then the criticism after his short program score.
Yeah. And he doubts himself more in program than outside of program. And his triple axels have been not good in run throughs all week, but they've been fine elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that was so frustrating about watching him in practice all week long. And I'm like, it's there. It's just
Mhm.
somehow it's not clicking in your programs. And when he landed the triple axel in the short program, you were like,
Mhm.
okay, well, it looks like it's back, right? When he landed the triple axels, the two triple axels that he did in the 6-minute warm up, you think, okay, well, it's back. And
Yeah.
then the second it went away, his entire brain just
Mhm.
like imploded, and you could
Yeah.
see like the waltz jump, the subsequent two pops.
Mhm.
That was him completely disoriented and did not know what to do. Like
Yeah.
if he were not a Jason, like if he were not as upstanding as Jason Brown,
Mhm.
he would have like that was one of those where it's like I'm just gonna quit midway through a program because my brain is not in it anymore.
Yeah. He did fight,
He
but
fought the entire second half of that program.
Mhm.
He
Mhm.
knew that like after that first half, he knew there was nothing left.
Yeah.
But he fought, and I love that he did. But it was just it was heartbreaking to see him backstage because Tracy Wilson walked by and she had tears in her eyes.
Yeah.
He was trying to put on a happy face, and that he was
Yeah.
devastated.
Yeah.
And he knew that it was over at that point.
Mhm. And it's so tragic because he's really supported US men's skating through this quad. I mean, the reason we have 3 spots at the Olympics to give away in the first place is
Yep.
because of him.
Yep.
The reason we had 3 spots at Worlds is like I don't know if it was this past year was because of him because we did have Torgashev, but like
No, it
he's
was.
always up there.
It was definitely because of him because Torgashev
It's
was 22nd.
no, the year before that.
Oh.
He's
He's been 4th, 5th, 6th every
yeah,
single year.
he's just always and to see it sort of come apart this year when he's so close is just really oh, I feel for him. It's so frustrating and it's like you know, it may take him a while to know really what happened and what went wrong,
Yeah.
but
He is assigned to the world team,
yeah.
and that goes to show in his case how
Mhm.
much the fall season was actually very important to the selection criteria for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's the only man that like broke 250 this
Exactly.
fall
Exactly.
besides Ilya, obviously.
Yeah. And the thing was we kept talking about how Tomoki was more consistently higher scoring than everybody else. When I looked at the numbers the morning of the selection committee
Mhm.
meeting, what was very clear to me was that Andrew and Tomoki were actually much closer than we thought they were,
Mm,
because Tomoki, even though he was consistent and landing jumps, was still scoring in the 230s a lot. I
yeah.
think he had one that was 240,
Mhm.
but Torgashev had a couple of 230s, and then he had that dip in
Yeah.
Finlandia. But and everybody sort of had a dip at some point. Same with Max. He had one very good competition. He had a couple of average competitions, and
Mhm.
they were all very close to each other. And there
Yeah.
was really, if you looked at the scores, if anything, Tomoki had a slight advantage, but it was
Mhm.
not the advantage that Jason had over everybody
No.
else. And therefore, right,
Mhm.
I would contend that had Jason finished 4th here, they would have put him on the Olympic team.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the fallout. People would have been beside themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh. Ross Minor not making the team would have been nothing if they put Jason on the team over Max.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But
fortunately, we didn't have to deal with that situation, but still. Yeah.
fortunately and also unfortunately, there was a lot of, I mean,
Yeah.
it was the storylines, the emotions, the
Mhm.
whatever, everything that came into this, the
Yeah.
fact that Tomoki felt like a front runner and then dropped to
Yeah.
4th, and that was basically it. Like that, there
His
was
show program was great.
yeah,
And I don't know what so working with Terry Gannon at NBC. I don't know what his schedule was this fall, but he hadn't seen that short program before. And Tomoki comes out and he pointed to the bio. He's like, skating to Freebird? I was like, yeah, get ready. And then Tomoki just laid down that short program. And, Terry loves classic rock. He was loving it. It was so good.
And-
I mean, even the quad was a little under-rotated, but still, it's such a good vehicle for him. I thought he was halfway there.
Yeah, he was just so much more free,
Mm-hmm.
no pun intended, in
Mm-hmm.
the short program. The free skate came out nervy and
Yeah.
tight,
Yeah.
and it got tighter and tighter during the
Mhm.
program. He was skating really small,
Yeah.
and I kept being like, every single one of these jumps are just too scratchy.
Hemorrhaging GOE.
Yeah,
Hemorrhaging.
especially when you compare it to like Torgashev.
Oh,
Always like when he lands his
freedom
jumps,
and the power.
they're so well landed,
Yeah.
and he did that.
Mhm.
Max, when he lands his jumps, they are powerfully, they come
Yeah.
out powerfully. Tomoki's jumps are always a bit smaller and
Mhm.
have less flow out of them. And that would have been okay had he done
Mhm.
them the way that he usually does them.
Yeah.
But there was so many just little itty bitty things that
Mhm.
just all added up that
Yeah.
it was very close among those three. And by those three, I
Mhm.
mean Max and Jacob, and we'll talk about
Mhm.
Jacob, Max and Jacob and Tomoki. And it could have gone either way, but the big thing that happened with
Mhm.
Tomoki was he forgot to finish his 3 combos.
Yeah. Because he left out that double axle on the triple axle. So then he got solo triple axle. So he got 70% of the base value. And then it's like he didn't put it back in anywhere else.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I had an interesting conversation with Mia Hamada, who traveled to St. Louis for this competition. So Megan Duhamel and Mia Hamada, both at their first ever U.S. championships. And Mia Hamada was talking about the work she had done on Tomoki's technique, his basic
Mhm.
skating. She makes him do figures, that she's very strict with him, and that has been, resulted in the improvement in consistency. And the other thing she was talking about was changing the way he does his jumps, because he was using bounce to rotate before, and now she was trying to make him have everything more vertical and, straight up and down rotate with his body rather than his bounce. And I was just, after talking to her, I was like, he's going to do it. I believe in him. And,
And
yeah.
he went back to old habits.
Yeah, the bounce came back under pressure.
I mean,
Yeah.
the spins were slow. Like they were
Yeah.
just like there was a lot of tightness,
Mhm.
and it was a death by 1,000 cuts. And the thing
Yeah.
was too, the Nationals panel could have decided
Yeah.
that they wanted to hold him up a little bit more, and they
Yeah.
decided to score him more like they would score an international.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, you look at his protocols and it's just like half of the stuff is negative GOEs.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you just can't get past
Yeah.
it when that's
Yeah.
how it goes. And
Yeah.
he lost his lead. He had a
Yeah.
big lead.
Yeah.
Well, he had a not insignificant lead, not a big
Mhm.
lead, but it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob Sanchez, though,
Oh,
speaking
superstar.
of,
That triple axle, triple toe he opened his free skate with was glorious.
somebody gave him a +5, and I love that person for it.
Hell yeah. That's right. Let's see who it was.
Judge number 5. Judge number 5.
All right.
But
Roger Glenn.
Jacob has had a very tough time all year long with this
Yeah.
free skate. And it wasn't until his last competition, I think it was Golden Spin, where he actually put out a strong free skate, and he was
Yeah.
like, thank goodness. And I just love, like, it's a little bit what we were talking about with Emilia Nemirovsky,
Mhm.
where Jacob's got the whole package. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Amelia has a triple axle, and Jacob doesn't have a quad quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure he's landed quads in practice. He didn't land
does
it. He didn't land
Flip
any
and
here.
Lutz, right?
Quads?
Yeah.
He does
I don't think
sow and Lutz.
I don't think he likes the other jumps as much. So
He doesn't like the toe. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
He
I did his bio last year, but I didn't do it this year, so
yeah,
I'm not as up on it.
he was doing quad sows in practice here.
Mm-hmm.
They were mostly under,
Mm-hmm.
but it's, the fact that he was trying them in practice here means something, right? Like he's
Yeah.
trying to like demonstrate to the whoever is watching from the
Mhm.
judging panel that like he's working on those.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's working on Lutz. So that's
He was for sure.
those are the ones. It would have been very interesting had he finished in third.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do with that?
You put him on the team, Jackie.
Oh my
You put
goodness.
him on the team.
My goodness. But he will be going to Four Continents, and he will be going to Junior Worlds. I talked to him after. I actually saw him at the airport this morning, and he and his family were just very proud of the performances this week. But he was saying he's excited to go to Junior Worlds because the dynamics this season are really interesting between Rio and Minkyu, and he wants to be part of that.
Step right in there.
Yeah. So, he skates like that again. He's got podium potential for sure. He won't have the technical firepower to compete with a clean Rio or a clean Minkyu.
Mm-hmm.
But
who knows if they're going to be clean?
Right, exactly. And Minkyu only has one quad in the free skate, and so the margin is different, right? Because you can't do quads in the junior men's short programs.
Yeah. Jacob could win the short program.
There are a lot of things that could happen.
You never know.
Yeah. And, excited to see where he goes from there. But, we were talking about how this is a setup for the next 4 years, and he set himself up very well with this performance for the next 4 years. And get him a consistent quad or two, and he becomes a very different threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sam Mindra, short program.
Oh, Sam Mindra, short program.
So good. He is such an artist. And he's such a goofball. We talked to him after one of his practices, and he was just like so silly and laughing and relaxed. And I was like, I'm glad you're having fun.
Well, when you're one of like 10 children, and he's like one of the younger of his siblings.
I think he's in the middle. Yeah, middle half. He had 5 siblings and his parents there, and they drove from Portland. So
yeah,
his situation is kind of crazy. Like he's training in oh my gosh, Snoqualmie. I don't know, the Washington State. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. No offense to Washington State. I don't know how to pronounce it. But he's going up there. It's a 3-hour drive from Portland, and then he stays in a hotel 5 days a week, and then he goes home. Snoqualmie, Washington.
He was saying in the mixed zone that one of his favorite skaters growing up was Adrian Pitkaev.
Let's go.
Right?
That's random.
That's random.
I love Adrian.
Random and also taste. Like he was one of the I mean, he never became of like one of the top Russian senior guys, but as a junior, he's like such a different skater than the rest of the Russian skaters. Like the artistry, the basics, right? Like you could tell why someone like a Sam Mindra would like that kind of skating.
Yeah.
So
that's
an aside.
Snoqualmie.
So call
That's
me.
right.
So call me.
No, it's K. Did you ever end up chatting with Ice Cut Daddy?
Oh my gosh. we're not going to talk about Ice Cut Daddy here. This is this is a professional podcast.
Jackie had
Please.
enough going on. He had Canadians. He had live skating in front of him. He had people trying to buy pins. And then the people coming out cleaning the ice, they're all in fleeces. And then there's this one guy who is so jacked and he's wearing like a painted on t-shirt with like every muscle, every day is back
Oh.
day for him. And it's just like, the whole circus going around what Jackie's trying to do with Twitter. But yeah, he was cute.
Yep. Very distracting. Very distracting. Okay. Back to regularly scheduled
let's go.
programming.
That was on my list.
We're not going to talk about Kip, who gave me my smoothies. So I thought actually one of the highlights was Ilya's short program.
Yeah, it was great.
And I thought his short program was one of the best things I've ever seen him do because he had really worked on the intricacies of the sort of detailing of that whole short program. And it was a different feeling of that short program than I've seen all season long. And it was obviously, again, my brain was malfunctioning during the free skate and I didn't really understand what I saw from Ilya's free skate, but I thought his short program for the first time this season was stronger than his free skate for me.
So I feel like he was being very careful in his preparation because his feet hurt and he was in new boots. And I didn't really see him go full out in practice or even in that program. It was like he was more focused on the other stuff. And then he just did those quads. He didn't do them a lot and just did them in the program. And I think his attention to the other things was what was making it so strong. And he's at like a personal best at nationals there. He came very close to beating Nathan Chen's record, but not quite. Not quite. So you're going to have to come back to nationals, Ilya, and break it. Not quite there.
Yeah. Well, the men's event was a lot to deal with. I really should have gone to those therapy dogs at that point.
Yeah. All right. You want to talk about Max?
Oh my God, we haven't talked about Max.
Beautiful, beautiful skates from Max. Really amazing crowd support for him. And it was like he told Andrea in his arrival interview before the free skate, he's like, I have to do everything. And I know that I cannot give this up. I have to fight as hard as I can for everything. And we really saw that. Max is such a musical skater and he has such beautiful jumps when he hits them. And he was out there just really, really fighting for it. And you could feel it. And you could feel how badly everyone wanted it for him. I mean, I thought his short program was like, that's my favorite. It's so good. But yeah, it was just really affirming for him to finally break out of fourth place and get on the podium. And, I never, like, in a million years would have picked this podium, but it's extraordinary that it happened. And I think them going with those top three was the right call. I'm so happy for Max that he made the team. I mean, it felt like almost like the impossible journey, but we all wanted it so much for him. And he really did it.
It absolutely was the impossible journey because as much as he likes to throw down at nationals, he was still working from behind the 8-ball on this one. And the fact that he went out there and did what he did, it was special. It was really special. I mean, he kept talking about, he kept being asked about his late parents. And so we heard a lot of things that he had to say over and over again because people in the media were asking the same questions over and over again.
He handled that really well too.
So well.
Don't know that I would, but he did a very good job. I mean, he's so professional and kind.
Yeah. And the thing was, he's had to do it since last January, right? And so he's had a lot of practice. Although there's a lot of, I think, this nationals, which was like, frankly, the digging up of the emotions for him.
Yeah.
And like I feel like he's a better person than I am
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
not being like, I'm not doing any interviews here.
Yeah. I mean, I would have declined more of them. He didn't.
Uh,
I don't think he declined anything. He was like,
yeah,
"All
no,
right,
he
sure,
didn't
I'll do it."
decline anything.
Yeah.
He was in the mix zone. Everybody was just
Mhm.
like asking him about.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just and I was just sitting there like on the side, being like marveling at his
Mhm.
composure.
Mhm.
I was not going to partake in any of that.
Seriously.
Like, no,
Yeah.
he does not need another question about
Yeah.
his parents. Not another one.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me about your quad sow cow. How's it going?
tell me about not answering any of these questions and leaving now,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah. Seriously.
So, no, but he was saying how in one of his very last conversations with his dad basically in a 45-minute like conversation laid out
Mhm.
an entire plan of how they were going to deal with this season, how they were
Mhm.
going to give him the best shot at making the team, how
Mhm.
they were going to make sure that he works on things that will get him to be more consistent this season. And he was saying there were days and weeks and months where he didn't even care to go on the ice
Mhm.
and even lace up his skates and all that. And
Mhm.
he went from that to the Legacy on Ice show,
Mhm.
and then to rededicating himself to training for this season.
Mhm.
And you know there was obviously the coaching change because he had to,
Mhm.
and being able to work on the stuff that he was able to work on, and going to France for those couple of months and
Mhm.
working with Benoit on
Yeah.
things, and like all of that. And I remember the very first competition he went to, I was like, Max, you're not perfect right now, but you are
Yeah.
looking better early this season than I've ever
Yeah.
seen you look this early in the season. And he is one of those who has such phenomenal all-around talent,
Mhm.
but the jumps just aren't there. And they haven't been there. And it takes them a long time to get there. And then by the
Mhm.
time Nationals comes around, oh, look, a clean program,
Yeah. Quad
and
sow.
he could not afford that this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was not like when he was announced to be that it was on him
Mhm.
on the team. There was not a dry eye in the house.
No.
And I looked over, there were coaches who were not his
Mhm.
coaches who were crying. There were
Yeah.
skaters who were friends of his who were crying.
Mhm.
A lot of crying going on.
Yeah.
I was sobbing, like
Yeah.
head in my hands sobbing.
Mhm.
Um, Reminds me of Legacy on Ice when like
Yeah.
I
God.
couldn't. Um, but this was a happy sob, right? This was
Mhm.
well, bittersweet sob. And it was just, it's a story that I don't think I would have predicted would
No.
happen here.
Totally. And it's interesting because Ilya, Andrew, and Max were all on the 2020 Junior Worlds team. And it was like the three, sons of like Eastern European immigrants to the US. All their parents are famous skaters. They all grew up in skating. And like the three of them were on that team together. And they've been friends since then and always like supported each other and spent time together at competitions. And it's like, I was really hoping that one of them would get on the team with Ilya, but for both of them, it's extraordinary. It's
Yeah.
such a nice story. And, um, it's unfortunate, like, other people lose out and didn't rise to the occasion to enable that to happen. But it's incredible that it happened, and I'm so happy for the three of them. And I'm so happy for Max that he gets to go to the Olympics as part of that team with his teammates.
I mean, look, we can talk about people not rising to the occasion or whatnot,
Mhm.
but at the end of the day, you got to earn it. And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Max earned it
Yeah. He did. He really did.
the way that he skated. So
Mhm.
Well, it has been 2.5 hours, and we have been talking a long time, and
It's the longest episode yet.
I am very surprised that there's still a bunch of people who are listening right now. We're going to talk a lot more this week because Europeans is coming.
Yeah, I just looked at the schedule, Jackie.
It starts
It
on
starts
Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
That's correct.
So are we going to do our preview tomorrow?
Therefore, join us tomorrow night because we will be back for our Europeans preview.
Much shorter. Much shorter.
Mm,
Much shorter.
Yeah, likely much shorter.
And I'm so sorry, Tara. I'm so sorry.
Tara's gonna have to. Well, I mean, she knows because she stayed up with me 2 nights to talk for just about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours in total about what happened. So, well,
I had one more thing on my list.
Oh my God, there's one more.
Shout out to Ken Mikawa. He had to put on boots that his boots broke down. He had to get new boots right before nationals, and he could only get white ones. And so he wore boot covers for the short, but then he just let those boots out in the free skate, and he skated in white boots, and I loved it. I thought it looked cool.
It. Yeah,
we need more. We need more men in white boots. But it's a great look.
But also the thing about Ken too is he's one of those people who his goal was to make it to nationals.
Yeah.
And he was the first alternate, and he made it to nationals when Camden had to pull out, and he took advantage of every single minute. Every single minute. Oh,
got through my whole list.
Yeah, we got through the whole list. But every single minute. I mean, he in the practices he would do like multiple. He would basically do run-throughs of his entire program. He's like, I'm gonna do as much as I can.
Yeah.
And those are the kinds of stories that people don't talk about here because it's like it's the national championships. There are plenty of skaters who are not going to be competitive for the world team or whatever, who this means so much to them just to be here.
Just to be on that stage.
And to be competing against all of these skaters and be in front of this ridiculous crowd. I mean, the crowds in St. Louis were amazing.
Something I've never seen before. They had a curtain on the upper level. The first day, they took it down for the women's event. And it was filled up there, almost all the way to the top.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was like the 90s. It was like those nationals we had in Spokane, which was a completely unique place and sold out skating events. But it was awesome.
Right. All right. Well, we're really going to close out this episode now. Michelle, I'm not even going to ask you what you're obsessed about because we obsessed about the entire U.S. championships, and I'm going to let both of us go to sleep. I haven't eaten dinner yet, so
me either.
We're going to go there. And we have Europeans bright and early on Wednesday, like the 50 women's short programs that I'm sure we're going to be watching.
No, it's pairs first.
Oh, it's pairs first.
And then women's short.
Well, thank you, as always, to our sponsors at John Wilson Blades. For Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd of Rockerskating.com. Thank you to Tara Nichols for listening to this whole thing and editing and making us sound good. We will actually talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.